a few branches that have become cracked and dangerous. So getting an arborist out there, and you can see the steps that were taken, all of them expedited, and everybody responding quickly to our request, determined that just a few branches need to come down. So the street was blocked off immediately on Friday when this was discovered, that we had the branches were dangerous. They were in danger of falling. Monday, the arborist was out reviewing the trees. Some selective pruning was recommended, and so Emmels is out there right now. We'll keep the street blocked and should have until Friday, and the pruning should be complete. The street will be reopened, and we'll get to enjoy this beautiful tree, both these beautiful trees, into the future. And there's a recommendation from the arborist that we assess and do a check on these trees every 5 years. All right, next slide. So this, just wanted to give you a brief update. This is our city force doing some beautiful work down on Martin Luther King Way. And between, this is, as you can see where it is, it's located, it started just west of the Marvin Williams Center, and we're heading all the way to Park Avenue, redoing the sidewalk and widening it. So again, this is, it's going to be beautiful when it's done. This is a two-phase. This particular project was 2 phases this year, but the next major phase will occur next year when we redo the entire street from Warren Avenue to Park Avenue. And then we'll have a pretty good looking street. It'll be more functional, modernized. Some of the repairs that were badly needed will be obviously be spruced up, and it'll be a good street for the community. Next slide. I wanted to share this one. A lot of folks appreciate the general work of the city and the services the city provides. Clean water, removing waste, public safety in parks. The reason I'm highlighting this is not just because this is a good function of city government, but the opportunity that we recognize to add a public bathroom in a strategic location. Not only does it support the Madrona Trails, one of our beautiful forested parks in the city, but it's placed about midway on the Bridge to Bridge Trail. And so it's just a great place for folks to be able to stop for respite. And obviously, when it's hot, especially on a day like this, and it's just a nice feature for our citizens. This was just an opportunity where we are doing this construction. A bathroom wasn't a major add-on to make it happen, and it just was the city recognizing it and bringing this forward. So we're proud of it. This pump station doubles our capacity. You can see in the lower right. Access was limited and sometimes blocked with the old pump station, so it made maintenance tough. And that is it for tonight's report. I hope you're all staying cool. I just want to share, with some of the work that we do. Some of you are on other boards. I serve on Kitsap Transit's board, and I was up in the Olympics this weekend, and I spent a lot of time in the Olympics, especially in the summer. I don't like going on Sunday, but the grandkids were available on Sunday. And so I was able to take my 14-month-old on his first hike, if you can call toddling on a trail for a couple feet, or a couple of feet of hike, but it was Mount Walker. And coming back, we hit traffic, and there was no real noticeable reason for the 25-mile-an-hour grind all the way from Mount Walker to the Hood Canal Bridge. So what is happening slowly but surely, and you all know this because we serve on regional boards, population in the region is growing. The popularity of Kitsap County and the Olympic Peninsula is growing. And so the things that we do to try to provide housing to meet the population demand, that's one thing, but public transit is another. We're trying to create a system that doesn't solve this problem of this popularity and this growth. but it's a huge part of it. You know, when we can make advancements like moving the bus timelines from an hour to a half an hour, it doesn't solve our problem, but it's a huge step towards getting it to where it's timely enough and convenient enough that someday it will be the preferred alternative. And we'll keep working towards that. So, but today, you know, I just wanted to share that there was no real reason for this other than backups in the Kingston Ferry, the amount and the volume of people here. And the reason that we are doing a lot of the work we're doing is to manage growth in the region, Kitsap County, Bremerton, Kitsap, and the region for the very reasons I just explained. So I appreciate all the work you're doing and keep it up. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Feeling is likewise, Mayor. Next up, we have the consent agenda. I'll turn it over to Clerk Hoover.
Thank you, President Chamberlain. For approval on the consent agenda are the following items. A, claims and check register. Approval of the following checks and electronic fund transfers. 1, check numbers 407574 through 407709 and EFT numbers V41311 through V41424 in the grand total amount of $3,165,335.06. 2, regular payroll for pay period ending June 30th, 2024 in the amount of $1,074,142.02. 3, regular payroll payout for pay period ending June 30th, 2024 in the amount of $34,583. 4, regular payroll corrections for pay period June 30th, 2024 in the amount of $3,591.50. B, minutes of meeting July 3rd, 2024. C, minutes of study session July 10th, 2024. D, public works agreement with Sourcewell for CXT restroom for Haddon Park renovation project. E, grant agreement with Washington Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation for Ivy Green Cemetery fence replacement. F, tower license and indemnification agreement with Day Management Corp. DBA Day Wireless Systems to allow placement of wireless equipment at Cheryl Street. G, resolution number 3384 to repeal resolution number 3345 and to establish updated MRSC small works roster processes for the city of Bremerton. And H, contract with Redside Construction LLC for Evergreen Rotary Park Boat Ramp Repair Project. This concludes the reading of the consent agenda.
Thank you. And for those of you who are new to public comment, we have a timer system, green, yellow, red. If you've ever been at a traffic light, you know what that kind of means. Green light, go, you have 3 minutes. Hold on, just, we can't take public comment yet. So yellow means you have 30 seconds left. Red means it's time to stop. Does any member of the public wish to comment on one of the items on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to council for a motion. Councilor Coughlin.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, let's vote.
Councilmember Fry,
Yes.
Coughlin,
Yes.
Bobolowski,
Yes.
Goodnow is absent. Mochler,
Yes.
Younger,
Yes.
Chamberlain.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, next up, we have public recognition. And as noted on the agenda, public recognition provides an opportunity for attendees to address the council on any issue not already on tonight's agenda. And this time is a time that we are here to listen. We don't offer feedback or answer questions. We also don't participate in demonstrations or audience participation requested by folks who are coming up. This is our time to listen to you and to hear your concerns. And you're also welcome to email us at any time at city.council@ci.bremerton.wa.us. We don't have to just take public recognition here during this time. There will be no public comments accepted via Zoom tonight unless prior arrangements were made through the city clerk. Do we have anybody that made any prior arrangements, Clerk Hoover? No. Okay, thank you. And a reminder that it is election season again. So please refrain from any endorsements or comments about candidates or ballot measures. We ask that you state your first name for the record and please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. With that, I will open up public recognition.
Good evening, council and mayor and participating citizens in this audience. My name is Mary Lou Long. I'm a longtime resident of Bremerton, and I'm here once again to give an honor and respect to our flag and try to encourage our council members to realize the importance of remembering who we are and who we serve, and the honor that I have to say the Pledge of Allegiance every council meeting that I can make here. So with that, if there's anyone who would like to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd ask you to do that now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, there are people in the audience that stand and give honor to our flag and recognize who we are. And once again, the council remains seated without even giving the due respect to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm very offended by that. I think a lot of people in the community are offended by that. I would like to say that we're going through a democratic process under this nation's constitution. And the flag is one of those things as a signal as to who we are and why we have a democracy and a republic, and we have this ability to choose our leaders. I hope we choose our leaders wisely, and I am afraid that I was misled by some of the candidates that ran for city council as to who you really are. That's enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Joey Hayes. Haven't been here in a bit because I've been enjoying my summer, which I hope everyone else has been enjoying as well. So back in June, I'd met with some people and we talked about the Kitsap Rescue Mission and what's moving forward with them. We were all, and I was too, still pretty concerned about what's going to happen when the Port Orchard shelter opens and the Bremerton one closes. We're losing beds. The shelter's moving to another city. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it might not be good. And I just want to make sure that this is something that's still being discussed because it's somewhat outside of the reach of just concerned citizens fixing the problem. It's going to need somebody who has some ability to do something. And I don't know if that is the city council, if not, but I hope that it is something that is still staying in your minds as we get closer and closer to when the shelter is supposed to close in December. I also want to say that as a US citizen and a veteran, I appreciate that this council has made the decision to not stand and make statements that don't necessarily support everybody. I think that in particular the pledge, if you want to stand for it, that's great. I don't think anyone should be made to or made to feel bad that they don't, because this is a free country and part of our freedom is to not stand and to not make pledges. And I think it's really important that we allow for both and that people should stick to their principles on that without being pressured. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shauna Paredes. I live at 611 Park Avenue, and I've lived in Bremerton about 15 years. I'm just here today because I would like to ask whoever it is that I'm supposed to ask to please put up public restrooms downtown for people to use. I live next to 7-Eleven, so my fence line is the current place where a lot of people choose to use the bathroom. And I hose it down daily. You know, I have a $400 water bill, like it's crazy. And I get mad at the people that go to the bathroom on my fence. But it starts this line of thinking where I'm like, well, where else are they going to go? Because a lot of them don't have another place to go. My communication with the city is, I've been met with the response. Well, Evergreen Park has a public restroom, the ferry terminal and Salvation Army. Well, Evergreen Park, I know for a fact, closes their restrooms at night. I'm not sure about the ferry terminal, but I know that Salvation Army routinely kicks people out for 24 to 48 hours at a time for behavior issues. For example, the man that murdered my friend on Easter morning was on a 48-hour ban from Salvation Army. But if publicly urinating or defecating is a crime, which Captain Elton informed me it is, then where are these people supposed to go? Because we're effectively criminalizing a bodily function. And so I've talked with a lot of the homeless neighbors that I have and told them that if we don't get a public restroom for you guys and a hand washing station also, I think is important, then I've encouraged them to maybe consider going on the steps of the Norm Stick building. And so if there isn't a public restroom constructed soon, that's going to be the outcome. And I don't say this because I want to encourage people to commit a crime, but I don't know what else to do, you know? And so, yeah, it's a peaceful protest. Get it? So with that being said, I don't know the timeline, like they're just waiting for me to tell them when. So if, yeah, ShaunaFreitas@gmail.com is my email. Like, I'm not trying to stir the pot in any, well, yes, I am trying to stir the pot, but I just want people to have a place to go to the restroom. That's all.
Thank you.
My name is Marilyn Warren, and just want to remind all of you about the issue of Pinewood Park LLC, owned by Hearst and Son, spelled Hurst. You can go on the internet and you can find many negative articles from many different news sources about Hearst and Son, who is predatory and nefarious and lawless and buys up mobile home parks where senior citizens live. They own their homes. They raise the rent 50%. When the people can't pay it, they evict them from their homes. Bye-bye. They don't pay them anything. Now, they wait a few months until they get sale. Well, the homes are abandoned. Now they're starting to resell them on the open market. This is sick and needs to stop. And all this talk about what to do with homeless people on the street. What about prevention of homelessness? Because there's a lot of people that are losing their homes and their apartments because of the rent increases that they cannot afford. And they cannot afford all these developers putting up all these fancy apartments. I cannot afford one.
Can you come closer to the mic, Ms. Warren? Thank you so much. Please continue.
Yes, so these people that are losing their homes to developers, I'm talking mainly about Hearst and Son. There are developers that are putting up beautiful buildings anywhere they want to, apparently, but they're not available to middle to lower class people. They're not available to seniors. Most seniors that are living on Social Security, they cannot rent these apartments. I checked on the one development, this huge development behind Fred Meyer, the great big one there. It's $1,300 for a studio. My income is $1,600. You get a studio plus all the utilities you're going to pay, everything else you have to pay. The rest of your life you have to pay for. That is not open to most people that are living on Social Security. And I worked for 30 years. and I think I deserve to have a home. So this is what I'm saying. You need to put more attention into why people are becoming homeless and not so much
30
attention into
seconds.
developers that are making big bucks, put up their buildings, leave town, get their money, and they're out of here. And you get their tax base. Yay. You need to worry about citizens of Bremerton that have been here for years. I am not one of them. I've been here 7 years. People have lived in this park I'm in for 40 years. That park has been there. Many people's parents have lived in this park. And this is not one park. This is 6 parks. at
Thank you,
least
Ms.
in
Warren.
Kitsap County.
Thank you.
6 parks.
Does any other member of the public wish to provide any public recognition? Okay, I will now close public recognition. And next up, we have a public hearing. And do you read this or do I, Clerk Hoover? Go for it. Thank you.
Item 6A, resolution number 3385 to approve the utility easement relinquishment at the Sinclair Ridge Phase 1 subdivision. And this is a public hearing. Tonight, presenter is Janelle Hitch.
Hi, good evening. I'm Janelle Hitch. I think I have a couple of slides here. I'm here to discuss an easement relinquishment at the Sinclair Ridge Phase 1 development. This is just a vicinity map to give you idea of where this is at. We're south of Highway 16 and west of Anderson Hill Road and Anderson Creek. So, and we could go to the next slide. Thanks. So, easement was established in 2002 for a water transmission main. The figure I have up here shows the easement in blue. The transmission main was subsequently constructed along a different alignment along Anderson Hill Road and Old Clifton Road, and the city has no longer has a need for the easement. The 2002 proposed development that was when the easement was made did not happen, and subsequently the Sinclair Ridge development came in and proceeded with a revised alignment of the roadway and easement. So they have constructed a new roadway just slightly off from this one, but there are utilities in that roadway.
Ms. Hitch, can you speak up just a little bit more?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
I think we're just, the mic is set to a really tall person, I think is what's happening. And it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Hitch.
Sure. The easement recorded in 2002 is no longer needed and will not be utilized by the city. But per RCW 3594-040, the release of the easement must be determined by a resolution of the legislative authority and after a public hearing. So we're here, and the relinquishment requires an approval and adoption by a resolution to you, the City Council. And we do recommend the approval of the resolution. That's all I have.
Thank you. And the purpose of the public hearing is to accept public comment. Ms. Hitch, we'll go ahead and have you have a seat there and open up the public hearing to accept public comment. Does any member of the public wish to comment on this item? Okay. Just double checking. Anybody out there want to comment? Okay. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And we'll go to council for a motion.
Move to pass resolution number 3385 and authorize the easement relinquishment of the water easement recorded under number 2002091901155.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and we are open for discussion. Council Younger.
We're just following, what's required by us under state law. We're at a public hearing. No one objected to it. The city has no use for the easement. There's existing utilities in place for the development, and the findings, I believe, are that the city doesn't need it, so it should go back to the property owner. Thank you.
Counselor Robolowski, any comments? Other counselors? Okay, Counselor Fried is counselor, okay. You give me a signal. I can't see her on the screen, so, yeah, all right, thank you. Okay, seeing no further discussion, let's vote on the item.
Councilmember Coughlin,
Yes.
Robolowski,
Yes.
Mochler,
Yes.
Younger,
Yes.
Fry,
Yes.
Chamberlain.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. This concludes public hearings.
Okay, tonight we have no general business, so we'll go right into council reports, which is an opportunity for council members to provide an update on any issues or events taking place in their district, to announce any events that they've recently attended or plan to attend, or to speak on any other city-related topic. It is the last council meeting of the month, so Counselor Younger, do you have a report?
No report. Thank you.
District 6, Council Vice President Mochler.
Thank you. First slide, please. District 6. Just a note to everyone that the August 12th town hall has been canceled, and we will be open for business again on September 9th. And I hope to see you there at the Bremerton Public Works Conference Room at 100 Oyster Bay Avenue North. The only thing I'd like to say about District 6 is to just say out loud in public how very happy I am that we are now finally have signed the contract to begin the renovation of Lulu Haddon Park. The work will begin at some point this summer or fall, and a lot of it should be complete by the end of this year. The preliminary design of the playground had just begun a week ago. I don't know the status of that, but finally, we are looking forward to moving on that. And something that's very dear to my heart, when they're putting in the new irrigation, they will include the area at the far end of Lulu Haddon Park, which was slated for a future community garden and is an area where past community gardens have failed due to, no water. So that is a great thing for the community, and I'm hoping that a pea patch will spring up there next year. And other than that, I have no report. I hope you're all enjoying this summer and that your squashes are blooming and booming.
It's that time of year where if you leave your car doors unlocked, people will put squash in your car. Okay.
This is a danger I should have mentioned.
All right, next up. Oh, we have a District 5, Michael Goodnow, but the birthday boy seems to be missing today. So happy birthday tomorrow to Counselor Goodnow. And next up, after that, we have District 4, Jane Robolowski.
Yeah, I have some slides. We can go through these rather quickly, but it's every single day I get photographs of vehicles parking in the marked bike lane, and so far nobody's been towed, nobody's been booted. Some vehicles have had over 20 tickets and nothing's happened. So council's going to work on our own fix for this to help staff and administration, and especially the bike riders in the city. So you can keep showing these. My District 4 monthly town hall is canceled for August also. Everybody's too busy, it's too warm, and I'll see you in September. I did have a comment to make too before Shauna came up and commented on the same thing. My vehicle broke down today in near Warren and 6, and I had to walk up here after the tow truck came. And the stench of urine is just unbelievable as you walk along 6th Street. And there is no place for people to use a restroom, especially at night. And when it's this hot, I doubt people are gonna walk all the way down to the ferry terminal. I really wish we could come up with some solution. And barring that, maybe send the fire trucks down and hose off the sidewalks once in a while it's hot like this, so everything doesn't smell so awful. And that's the end of my report for tonight.
Thank you. District 3, Counselor Coughlin.
Let me echo my thanks to folks speaking up tonight, both on housing and homelessness, two incredibly interrelated issues, which I know we deal with and is always a priority. And yeah, echo the frustration of trying to find a solution to this ongoing issue for at least over 2 years now. But with that said, I also want to say my thanks to Public Works Chair Robolowski too for continuing to work on this long-term issue now of blocked bike lanes. So again, my appreciation. With that, it's got a couple announcements going on downtown. So first, if folks didn't see the announcement, I know a long-term goal of this council and the city has been to get Main Street program accreditation through the Downtown Bremerton Association. And so they have been working hard all year on this very long application, and they just submitted it a couple days ago. So we should hear back, I believe, by September on whether it is accepted or not. Very optimistic. I just know the incredible amount of hard work that went into it. And so hopefully, if once they get accepted, this gets them to full accreditation and opens up for more grants and economic prosperity and good things going forward for our downtown. Next slide. On that note, if anyone's free for an hour or two, August 1st at 5 p.m., going to do a little downtown tidy up. Again, thanks to Kitsap County Public Works has a great program where they'll drop off supplies to help volunteer organizations do pickups in the local neighborhood. So that's going on the 1st. And the last slide, in addition to Kitsap Pride this weekend out at the fairgrounds, I want to put on your radar for August 2nd to 4th, right here in downtown Bremerton is the West Sound Film Festival. This is a great partnership with Roxy and Admiral Theater and C Film and our local arts community downtown. And we get filmmakers from around the world that come to this festival. So it brings in a lot of economic vibrancy and it supports our arts community and just a great thing to be a part of. So put that in your calendars. And I think our next general council meeting is right before this one. So maybe I announced it early, but anyway, get on your calendars. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is District 2, Counselor Fry.
Yes, thank you. Well, it's LTAC time of year. Late summer, early fall, we are gearing up. And while we don't have any current openings, we are anticipating possible openings. And we'd like to be prepared for that. So if you represent a hotel or operate a vacation rental, Airbnb, VRBO, or do you represent an organization that qualifies for funding through LTAC? Those are the two qualifications other than a city council member, which in this year is me. But please, if you're a qualified candidate and have an interest, a 3-year term of service, you can really have some impact. Some very important things are always going on in LTAC, but our lodging tax and tourism is going to be gearing up. So yeah, it's the right time to get involved. So I think that's my last slide. I'd just like to, congratulations to DBA with the Main Street application. I think that's phenomenal. Really exciting. That's been I know a real team effort. And then I've got to say something about the bathroom. I didn't think I was going to be talking about a bathroom again. I'm getting a bathroom that I didn't even really in District 2 at the water pump station there near the YMCA. And I'm not complaining. I want you to know that there's a new bathroom that the public can use there. It's needed, and is very, very much appreciated. It's just so, tragic that we can build that, but not build one downtown. And maybe we need a water pump station downtown. I don't know. How do we get a bathroom downtown? So didn't know that I was going to be talking about that. But with that, I'm going to turn it back over to President Chamberlain.
Thank you, Counselor Fry. And so last but not, well, pretty much least, because I have almost no report. But I just want to thank my neighbors and the residents of Bremerton this year during 4th of July. It was still a little chaotic with fireworks, but not near as chaotic as it was the year before. And so a huge thanks to my neighbors and community members for being a little more responsible this year with how they set off their fireworks. Although they were still at a public park, which isn't exactly allowed. Other than that, I want everybody to make sure they're staying hydrated and using cooling stations. I believe we have cooling stations, public libraries. We have the YMCA is offering cooling. And so just stay hydrated, check on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors, make sure they have water and they're taken care of. And this is gonna lead into kind of closing us out. We are going to go into an executive session, but I wanted to make an announcement that, and for those who help set up the meetings, we are going to be downstairs for our next study session. We're going to have our study session down here on the floor, rather than the 6th floor council conference room. And so that'll be Wednesday, July 24th, beginning at 5 p.m. with the remote option available via Zoom. And I missed a birthday. Council Assistant Christine Grenier, happy belated birthday. I think she's listening in. And for tonight, this concludes regular council business. However, I'm not adjourning the meeting because we are going into a 10-minute executive session to discuss potential litigation allowed under RCW 42.30.110(1)I, and action is anticipated.
Recording stopped.
Easy.
In the streets. I'm starting it. Yeah, they're already started. Oh. No, oh, it shows it in the clock. Oh.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I now call the meeting back to order and ask the city attorney to summarize the action before council and to read the motion for the record, please.
This is an action to accept settlement funds in relation to the Kroger settlement related to opioid and opioid abatement. So the motion is move to approve the Kroger settlement related to opioids and to authorize the mayor to execute the participation form, allocation agreement 3, and any other necessary release forms in the same or similar form as presented.
Thank you. Does any member of the public wish to comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will go to council for a so moved. Councilor Coughlin,
So moved.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Let's vote on this item.
Councilmember Revelowski,
Yes.
Mochler,
Yes.
Younger,
Yes.
Fry,
Yes.
Coughlin,
Yes.
Chamberlain.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, this concludes tonight's regular council business. Meeting is adjourned.
Recording stopped.